we are back. RCTBDTB. Anyway, you should know how to spell it by now. The song is called Respect. That's Aretha Franklin. Somebody hit me up during commercial break. They were like, "Don't forget Diana Ross." Well, I mean, I can't sit up and name everybody who was signed to Motown. But I mean, Diana Ross, that's another great right there. I mean, back in the Patti LaBelle, back in the day, we had two things that were real: instruments and singing.
Yes, Lord.
And over the course of time, computers have replaced everything.
And pen and paper.
My brother, man, who I'm gonna take his song and probably use that as the new theme song next week. But my brother hit me to this whole idea of bringing whoever you want in the studio and making them sound like whatever you want. So in the studio, they sound like like Luther Vandross. And live is just Luther Vandross. It's just wrong. It's like Brian McKnight on the CD, Brian McKnight Mayor in concert. And so it's just wrong. It's just bad. And so I'm loving that in some areas of music we're getting back to some real talent. And I'm gonna tell you this before we get back to our subject for today. The best talent you've ever seen is in church. Yep, I said it. I'm going to go on record and say it again. The best talent you've ever seen is in church. Singing, dancing, writing, acting, preaching or ministering or talking, public speaking, whatever you want to call it. It is in church. You want to see some folks that have some raw talent? Go to church. First, let me say this while I'm thinking about it. See, y'all, I'm awake. Today is Saturday, right? Get all your stuff out the way today. Right. Tomorrow, go to church. Okay, I'm sorry, let me calm down. Go to church somewhere. Stop coming up with excuses why you don't go to church. It's too many hypocrites there. Okay, you don't even know what that word means, okay? The way society has defined it for you is incorrect. A hypocrite is not somebody who says I'm saved or I'm a Christian, but they do bad stuff or they make mistakes or they fall short. That's not a hypocrite. That is, one word for that is human being. And then another word is just, sometimes people fall short, they make mistakes, and so they miss the mark. But that's not a hypocrite. A hypocrite is this. The real definition of hypocrite is somebody where when you do something wrong, it's all bad. But when they do the exact same thing, it's all right. Yeah. Okay, let me give you an example. Have you ever met somebody who your daughter get pregnant and she just loose and she fast and she this? See, if you had Jesus in your house, that wouldn't happen. And then their daughter get pregnant and it's just, it's just a lack of God. The mothers need to rally around her. My daughter's a good baby. And I just believe even in this, there's a blessing. I believe even in this, God is going to bring forth the next Elijah, the next Paul, the next Peter. Thank you. See, that's a hypocrite. My daughter got pregnant and you had all kind of stuff to say how she's a loose heathen. Your daughter got pregnant and God is moving upon her. That's a hypocrite. But that should not be your reason for not going to church. You don't go to church for people anyway. And if you do, knock it off. Amen. Stop going to church for people. Go to church because that's God's house. That's your Father's house. So y'all, tomorrow, find you a church. And whatever church suits your needs. It can be a Church of God in Christ. It can be a Baptist. It can be Apostolic. It can be Lutheran. It can be Methodist. It can be Episcopal. It can be non-denominational. It can be into the Christian contemporary music, the rock music, the gospel music, whatever flavor of ministry you like. Find it, get in there, and sit down somewhere. But go to church tomorrow. Amen. Amen. Yeah. We need to take offering. All right, so back to our subject. We're talking about love in church. Love in church. Does it exist? Is it there? Is it okay? Now, obviously, I'm not saying go to church looking around. I wonder who was she like? I wonder who that is. I'm not talking about that. Pay attention to the pastor or the guest preacher or the choir or the dance ministry. God has so many ways to minister to you, so pay attention in church. But my point is, while I'm at a church and I'm getting involved in church, is it carnal? Is it fleshly? Is it okay to look for love in church as well? I'm sitting next to a young couple. They are phenomenal. They are awesome. They are very active in our church and getting more active by the day. A lot of people already look at them and admire them, even in their youth. They are just making a huge impact locally in our church and even outside of our church. I want them to introduce themselves, and I want you all to talk about One, how you met, and well, let's start there. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are.
Okay, hey guys, I'm Kristen, aka Christy.
Coffee King.
So, Coffee and
Coffee King.
Coffee.
Sorry about that. I'm a little nervous because we talking about love, and I'm sitting next to my boo, and we gotta keep it 100.
Well, all right.
On radio, but that's what we gonna do though.
Hey man, one of the signs that you really in love is when you still shake when she come around.
Exactly.
When you stop shaking, then something wrong. You know, my wife, when I go around my wife, I still shake. It ain't because she's scaring me. I still ain't because I owe her money or, I got some explaining to do. And, why the lights ain't on? It ain't because of that. She still does it. So let's start, Kristen, with you. What were you looking for in a potential mate?
Well, for sure, I mean, kind of the same things that Shannon was saying. Somebody who was not only God-fearing, but to me, I needed somebody who had a real relationship with Christ. And I needed somebody who not only had a relationship with him, but was very adamant about living their life for him, being knowledgeable about the word, not just knowing a few scriptures, but really knowing the truth about, the power of the word and living that out in their everyday life. So that was very important to me, as well as, obviously being very fit too. I mean, look at him. And
y'all can't see him out there. My grandfather used to call it Radio Land. Y'all can't see him out there in Radio Land, but he's a fit brother. I gotta be careful how I say this.
Pause.
Fit young man.
He's very fit.
Man, society today, you gotta be careful.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's very fit. So being very fit was really that was important, and being attractive because. We all have standards, and nobody wants to share their life with a book of wolves. I'm sorry, that was not nice. I'm sorry. And then also, he had to be ambitious, educated. I'm an educated woman, and I really just wanted somebody who was going to grow me as a woman. And I wanted that equal opposite, and I think that's like the most beautiful thing about Coffee and our relationship is we both share that love for Christ, and we both read the word together, and we both pray together, and it's like he has his own ambitions of what he wants to do with his life. I have my own, but we have some together, and it's like we're both growing together. So that was really what I was looking for.
Wow! All right, Coffee, that's a lot to follow right there.
No, same question. Well, with all the sociological norms, I think they permeate relationships as well.
Sir.
I think they permeate relationships. I think that, social media guides us, and I think that just all the figures that we see in the iconography of certain people that are not really, they shouldn't be held on a pedestal. And we base love on that, but, in juxtaposition, I think that the church is the perfect place to find love. Because, for one, God is love. For one, God is omniscient. For two, God is omniscient. And he knows exactly what you want. He knows your instincts. He's given you those instincts. And it shouldn't be considered a paradigm shift to find love in church. It just shouldn't. I think it should be the sociological norm. And for Kristen, what I was first attracted to in her was just the fact that she loved God. I think it just emoted through her. She just exuded that, and it just made her even more beautiful than she is aesthetically, which is just more. I mean, she's already just super beautiful. She walks in the room, and to me, that's all I see.
Aww, cute.
And with the fact that she loves God as well, that's like, wow, that's an anomaly. Like, that just doesn't happen. Like, I was like, is this for real? Like, seriously, somebody, is this for real? This can't be real. So I just had to, just pursue that and just be 100% about it.
Man, I'm loving that.
Yeah.
A lot of times we have the proclivity to be juxtaposed with some people who have the substratum of man's nature. What I don't want to do is interact at the local intersection so that when I'm on pause,
So the least common denominator.
things overcome. Now, if you reduce me to a bridge, I'm going to cross over some things that seem not so good in local society. Now, on a global chain network, man, Kristen, this dude is smart.
He went to Yale.
What? You went to Yale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to him.
Oh my, what?
Yeah, he graduated with honors.
Okay, next time you on the show, I'm bringing a dictionary.
Right.
I never felt so ignorant before in my life. I'm sitting here like, okay, I think that means that he really love her.
Bottom line. Bottom
Now,
line.
here's what I'm mad at. What y'all don't know about him that I happen to know, he can sing too. It's not right, man. So some people, it's just not right. He went to Yale. He's all tall. How tall are you?
About like 6'3", 6'4".
That's not fair. I just am able to ride the Colossus. I don't. Y'all, we got to go to commercial so I can calm down. This is Marlon Saunders on the Marlon Saunders Show. I'm mad. I need some water. We'll be back in a few minutes. This boy done went to Yale. That's that Aretha. RCTBDTP. Anyway, y'all, the song is called Respect. Yes. Man, this is a good show today. Like, for real, we help. I know we helping somebody. Listen, if you don't remember anything else, remember this. It's not about finding a perfect person, but it is about finding a good person. And it starts with knowing God. If they don't know God, what's the point of doing anything else? If somebody doesn't know how to treat God, they certainly don't know how to treat you. That's right. If they can't respect God, they can't respect you. If they can't love God, they can't love you. Somebody hit me up the other day wanting to know, as far as this whole submission thing is concerned, Pastor, am I supposed to follow my husband no matter what? I said, well, we jump into the B clause of that verse right there. The Bible first says that the husband needs to submit to the Lord, submit to God, submit to Christ first. And then the wife will submit to the husband. I ain't gonna follow you off no cliff now. I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid. If you jump off a cliff, I'll just see you later. I need you to follow God, and then I'll follow you. I don't care if y'all don't like it, but I tell all the young ladies who I come into contact with, don't follow no guy who's not following God. Amen. And don't do nothing dumb because you feel obligated. Well, I'm already married to him. Let me tell you something. When he go to bed, put some oil on his forehead, pray over him, and pray that he start following God. But if anybody calls you to sin against God, go against God, don't you follow that mess. Don't you follow it. Anyway, they're going to be mad at me for saying that. I'm loving this in here. All right, I want to hear from Deja. I want to hear from Ebony. Either one of y'all can start first. As far as love in the church, is it possible, in your opinion, is it possible to find love in the church? And what are you looking for? Well, Ebony is married already, so what were you looking for? But Deja, what are you looking for?
It's funny because actually this past week I saw, I posted a great quote on my social media outlets, IG and Facebook. And the quote was, does he pray for you? Or it said, but does he pray for you? And, that's huge for me because it's like, what I said was, you could have a man that is everything to you. He marks off, all the check boxes that you have. But the biggest check box on that is the relationship with God. And, at this point, in my past, I've had relationships where, it was a struggle where I did, I got up in the morning and the person is seeing me go to church, but they're not going with me. That's an issue, or I'm heavily involved in, A2J and the young adult ministry. If you ever see me at church, you see me going in. So my mate needs to be, matched. It really does. And if not, you're an unequally yoked couple, and it really deteriorates the relationship because one person is constantly growing up in God, and then the other person is stagnant. And it is a huge issue for me. But definitely love can be found in church, I believe. That God does know exactly what you want. And it's funny because we went skating a few weeks ago, and somebody was saying, oh, this guy kept wanting to skate with me. So they said, oh, he skated into your heart. That might be God's. I said, he went for me. And they said, you never know. That might be, what God is sending you, just because it's not what he looks like or what you think, that might be God's match for you. And I said, you know what? God knows exactly what I want, including a fine man. So he's not, like Kristen said, he's not going to set you up with a book of. He knows what your desires are. He knows what you want. And included in that is looks. I'm sorry, it is. But It is. No, it is. It's a huge factor. So you definitely can. And like I said, God knows your heart. He knows what your needs are as far as a man or a woman. And at the end of the day, he's going to give you exactly that. He's going to provide that for you. He wants nothing but the best for us. He wants us to win. So he's not going to set us up, for failure.
Yeah. No, I think it's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I did to have that physical criteria on there. I don't want somebody who has two chests and three
or
stomachs
hair
and all
on
kind
the
of stuff.
chest
And
of
so,
a woman.
and like you said, Booger Wolf have little wolf babies, and everybody, looking away when they look at your kids, they look off like, wow, they must be anointed. No.
Right. They have everything to say but that they're a cute
Exactly.
kid.
Hey, and you know what? I don't think it's shallow. And here's the other thing. Attractive is relative too. Certain people are attracted to certain things. So you may have certain physical criteria that somebody else does not have. I'm one of those where when I was single and I was in grocery stores sometimes, I want to see what's in the woman's basket. Because if you got a bunch of TV dinners and a bunch of just warm it up in the microwave,
noodles,
then you can't really do much for me. I like to eat. I want to see you got fresh vegetables. I want to see you have some stuff that need to be cut up and chopped up and frozen, and then you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think it's okay to have whatever criteria you have, and you're absolutely right. God knows that. We got a couple of minutes left. We're gonna go to the phone in a second. Before we go there, Ebony's married, y'all. Ebony's married. She and her husband have 4 kids. What were you looking for in a mate? What were you looking for?
Basically, someone who can joke with me, because I joke all the time, and someone who can take my sarcasm, and my attitude, but I don't know, like. Of course, church was. I've been in church all my life, so that was a must. Like my dad was a minister, like that's a must. And so, you didn't go to church. I wasn't fooling with you, but I don't know. Like I just needed someone who, complimented me, I guess.
Yeah. So you weren't looking for a sensitive man.
Definitely not. 'Cause I'm mean and like I can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't be crying if we get in an argument. We can't both be crying. That don't work.
I'm sorry, baby.
Listen, y'all. Let's go to the phone. I'm getting ready to go to the phone. Hello, this is Marlon Saunders. Who is this?
This is Malika Blessing.
What's up, girl, Malika? Hey, y'all, for those of you who don't know, Malika is the co-host of this show. She could not be here today. She's doing a walk for MS. Well, I'll let you tell her. Malika, tell us what you're doing today.
Yeah, we're out here. It's so beautiful. It's really windy out here, but we are walking for MS. My goddaughter's father has MS, so we are walking for him. God is good. Everyone is here. We're smiling. We're having a good time, and I'm missing you guys. And I just wanted to say, hey, and I love you. And everybody continue to tune in to the Marlon Saunders Show. Woo, woo.
Hey. I love you. We love you. Thank you for taking the time to call in out there on the walk. You're doing an awesome thing. Next week, you'll be back in here with me.
I'll be back.
Okay, cool. We got a lot to catch
love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you. Y'all give it up for Malika Blessing. All right, before we go, let me ask Shannon one last question before we get out of here. You had said on the show, Shannon, you said, we were talking about baby mama drama. Mm-hmm. And you said, well, I looked at my friends and I saw some things in their relationships that I knew I didn't want to deal with. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of paying attention to, well, whether we call them red flags mm-hmm. or relationships around you? How important is it to pay attention to that stuff?
I mean, I think those things are brought into your life for you to pay attention to, so you don't make those same mistakes. It's hard to see your loved ones going through things like that, but you can help somebody else if you really listen, and you can definitely help yourself and not go through that as well. If you've seen in a last relationship somebody had 3 kids and 3 baby mamas and it was just too much drama, you might not want to get with a man who got 3 baby mamas and too much drama. It's just, you have to learn from what you see, and people are put in your lives, situations in your life are sent to you so you can learn and grow from that and be a better person and help somebody else.
Awesome. I love that right there. And for the record, I found my wife in church. Mm-hmm. I had moved to Denver, Colorado. went to this church called Heritage Christian Center, Bishop Dennis Leonard. And I was hired to do the music, to help with the music ministry there. My wife was the administrative assistant to his wife, and she also helped run the Dennis Leonard ministry side of it. And I walked past her office, and I was like, who is that? My friend with me, he was like, dude, you way out of your league. Don't even try it. You in over your head. And keep it moving. Why don't you find somebody, not so high up on the chart? And anyway, long story short, we became friends. We began to date. Here we are 14 years later.
Amen.
We have 3. We've been married now we've been together 15 years, but we've been married 14 years. 3 kids. Mason, he's 8. Sydney, she's 6. Maxwell, he's 2. I'm gonna bring them on the show too, because they are on some other stuff. And so my wife Tamara and I, we met in church. So I believe you can find love in church. I also believe even in church, you need to keep your criteria in place.
Amen.
Because just because somebody is in church does not mean that's the mate for you.
Right.
That is not just because they sing in the tenor section and God is in control. God is in control does not mean that's your man. That does not mean that. That just means he sings in the tenor section in the choir. And so
Might be a lesson.
I want you to know that while your husband or wife could be at your local church, it's not necessarily everybody you lay your eyes on that is active in church.
Right.
So keep your criteria. Is this it for us when we go to break this time? Y'all, we getting ready to go to break. The time is too short. We might have to find a way to extend this. I want to thank the A2J crew. I want to thank Shannon for being in the house. I want to thank all y'all from D.C. to L.A. to Houston to Denver to Atlanta to Chicago.
Louisiana.
I love y'all. ValenciaChristianCenter.org. Pastor Marlon Saunders on Facebook. Marlon-Saunders.com. Go to Facebook. They told me the Marlon Saunders Show page is now up on Facebook. Love y'all. God bless you. Enjoy your